ibi tí a wà yìí òun là ń pè ní Wells Radio 89.3 FM kànga agbọ́nmàgbẹ̀ tó kún fún omi ọgbọ́n ìmọ̀ àti òye. Mo ń kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa lọ́mọdé lágbà lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin wípé ẹ kú ìmúra ọdún kérésì àti ọdún tuntun. Ẹ̀mí wa ó ṣe ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀ láyé lórúkọ Jésù Kristi. Ẹ máa gbọ́ Wells Radio 89.3 FM kànga agbọ́nmàgbẹ̀ nígbà gbogbo. Orúkọ èmi tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ ohùn rẹ̀ ni Mrs. G.A. Fashion ti Good Women Choir.
Ọmọ àtòyè sọ ayé wa.
Orúkọ mi ni Ajínrere Felicia Ìyábọ̀dé Ògúnṣọlá tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Ẹfúnṣetán Aníwúrà Ìyálóde ìlú Ìbàdàn. Mo ń pè yín sí pé ẹ máa gbọ́ Wells Radio 89.3 FM lóòrèkóòrè ní gbogbo ìgbà tọmọtọmọ. Rédíò tó gbayì tó gbẹ̀yẹ ìkànnì agbọ́nmọ́gbẹ̀. Orúkọ mi ni Ìyábọ̀dé Ògúnṣọlá tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Ẹfúnṣetán Aníwúrà.
Ọmọ àtòyè sọ ayé wa.
Come and see West Radio, your preferred wholesome radio, 89.3 FM na baba. Come and see West Radio, come and see Bebe, 89.3 FM na you be oga. Come and see West Radio, your preferred wholesome radio, 89.3 FM na baba. Come and see West Radio, come and see Bebe, 89.3 FM now you be your girl. The news that is sweet temple, entertainment that makes you happy, sport, education and family affairs. Come and see West Radio, come and see Bebe, 89.3 FM now you be your girl. Come and see West Radio, your preferred wholesome radio, 89.3 FM now, baba. Come and see West Radio, come and see Bebe, 89.3 FM now, you be your girl. West Radio, 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Wells Radio, 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Top of the morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your state's number one family radio station. Thank you for tuning in this great morning, and thank you for joining us again on Perspectives Unlimited this great morning on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Today is Friday, the 14th day in the month of November 2025, and from our studio it is 6:33 a.m. This is Perspectives Unlimited. We bring you fresh stories out of the dailies, stories that are making the rounds in Nigeria for today. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo, and I hope you had a great night. I hope you're well, and of course the weekend is about to start. Make it a glorious and beautiful one for yourself. Get that rest if you think you need that, and of course be the best version of yourself. This morning we have the Punch, the Nigerian Tribune, and of course the Guardian. Stay with us. All right, let's start with the Punch newspaper this morning, published again today, Friday, the 14th of November, 2025. We start with page 19. Tinubu shift 15% fuel import duty to first quarter of 2026. Why? It's on page 19 of the Punch for today. The major headline on the Punch today on page 2, PDP convention. PDP delegates arrive amid Saraki's cancellation move. The writer says ex-Senate President George top PDP leaders clash over caretaker committee plan as INEC reviews judgment. That's another big story there. On page 3 of the Punch, National Assembly shift WAEC CBT adoption to 2030. Again, why? You'll find that story on page 3 of the Punch today. Genocide interview, don't panic, Piers Morgan tells Tuga on page 14. And on page 19 of the Punch, which is the final story on the front page, airlines reject fresh $11.50 NIS fee that you also find on the front page for today. And at the back of the Punch, there's this article there. The fool who stopped Wiki, the fool in inverted commas right there. You find it at the back of the Punch. And then the Nigerian police of fortune, that is also at the back of the Punch today. If you want to have a good time reading, maybe you pick up a copy of the Punch today. On page 11 of the Nigerian Tribune, federal government halt planned 15% import duty on petrol and diesel. On page 11. On page 22, troops foil adoption of 78 NYSC members in Borno. On page 12, how misinformation on capital gains tax sparked 4.6 trillion naira market loss on page 12. On page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune, which is the major story here, I have respect for the military but harbor lawlessness, says Wike. The writer says FCT minister carrying out his statutory responsibilities, but Falano. Ex-CDS Irabo fought Wike's action. That's also a rider to the story. You find more of that on the Tribune this morning. All right, let's move on to page 3 here. Reps move to suspend 2026 WAEC computer-based examination policy. It's on page 3. On page 27, Senate launches probe into stamp duty revenue on page 27. On page 12, NCP approves BPE move to cede Afan power plant to Transcorp Power Consortium on page 12. And on page 5, PDP seeks to join Bielsa Deep Gulf's suit against move to impeach him. And finally, on the Nigerian Tribune, in health, chronic kidney disease is now 9th leading cause of death globally. On page 2, says the Lancet study. You find that on the front page also of the Nigerian Tribune for today. And finally, let's take the stories from The Guardian. Senate considers bill subjecting military convictions to court review, on page 3. On the same page, ASU may resume full-blown strike on the 21st of November over selective implementation of pacts, on page 3. On the same page, Nigeria supplied 12.6 million barrels to Dangote, says the NNDPRA, on page 3. Moving on to the big stories, pages 4 and 5. Anti-Torture Act at 8. Victims bear scars, endure trauma as law remains on paper. Like so many other laws, if you ask me, still on paper at the moment. Passenger stranded after train breaks down in Kaduna, on page 29. Tax burden on airline threatens aviation sector, operators warn. On page 6, confusion crisis swell around PDP convention amid conflicting court orders. And on page 6, AU chief dismisses genocide claims as Obi task editors on nation building. And finally, on page 3, ADC says fresh 1.5 trillion naira loan exposes Tinubu's addiction to reckless debts, on page 3. And that's all we can take on the front page this morning. We want to thank you again for joining the program and for listening to Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Do find us on our Facebook page this morning. Watch us live. Drop your comment right there. And of course, you can share the video to reach more people right on that platform. On Facebook, facebook.com/Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. To be right back. Stay with us.
We are all from this country, and this is government. You cannot be higher than any government. You cannot be carrying gun to intimidate people to not to do their work. Let me tell you, if one got achievement first staff who spoke to me now, he could have killed everybody here. No problem.
Because the papers are complete and he said some.
Are you the one? Listen, you know the problem you have. Are you the one that will say, paper? Show me that you are one. First of all, show me that government gave you this place. 2, show me that you have an approval to build what you are building. It has nothing to do with I'm a vice admiral, I'm a lieutenant general. That is not it. We must work according to law. We must work according to law. See? Because what you are doing now, because you are officer, you go and carry somebody's land. Because you are officer. Nobody does that. The man took land, we will not allow because he was the chief of officers, and then you to carry land.
Sir, everything was apparently legal.
Will you stop that? Will you stop that?
I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your mouth, put
Sir, you not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I was in school, you're going to see school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will
me
you
up.
keep quiet? Let me be
I'm not a fool.
You can shoot anybody like that.
Sir, I'm not a fool.
Who are you?
I am not a fool, sir.
As at the time I graduated, you were primary school.
I'm acting on orders.
For which order?
Call me a fool.
You see what you will not live here.
Sir, you can't call me a fool.
Go and develop your
I'm an officer. I'm not a fool, sir.
Don't help me, after come after. No, you would have killed everybody here.
No, we are not killing anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders.
What was the problem? How can I sit as a minister? Government officials have been attacked. Government officials have been beaten up. Government officials to the level of directorship. Then I'm sitting in my office doing what? How will such officials carry out their functions again when they know their principal or their boss cannot protect them? Not as private individuals, as government officials. So many people have had problems. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, former a general, former head of state, former president, he will call me on phone. Minister, I look good at this problem of land here. I say, please, can you I will solve the problem. That is former head of state, former elected president. We have the courtesy. General Tiwa Danjuma would call you. Look, there is these ideas like this. These are people who, they're all retired generals. These are people with constant discipline. They didn't bother because they were former chief of army. They were former president. They never sent soldiers. They never sent anybody to go and attack anybody. They just call you. And respect begets respect. I have to respect. And I'll tell them, sir, don't worry. I will sort out the problem. And I will do. I won't even talk about other people who are highly placed. They will come to you. Mr. Minister, maybe we didn't know of this. If we knew, we would have done it like this.
Indeed, there is Christian genocide in Nigeria, and it's been going on for over 15 years now. Now, this administration inherited the challenge. So we're not holding them, we're not blaming them for it. They made it on ground. But we're holding them accountable for the life of every Nigerian, particularly in the church, to stop the genocide. When we're talking about genocide, I should talk of a place like Dogonaya, where one night 501 Christians were massacred. You talk of Benue State, on Christmas Day, there was invasion, hundreds were killed. There was mass funeral. I could not hold back my tears that day when I saw the lineup of coffins. And I said, we're not in active war, and innocent people are being killed simply for the offense of being a Christian. And that have been going on, all over the place. The mass killings are there. The individual killings are there in various states in the north. In one of the states in the north, one of the pastors, when they gave them quit notice, Boko Haram said they should leave the north. He refused to leave. He said, I'm not a criminal. I'm a Nigerian. I'm caring for the sheep. I cannot leave the people of God and go away. And they dealt with him very badly. What did they do? They watched when he went to preach somewhere, and they attacked his family. His wife just had a set of twins. Before the eyes of this woman, they slaughtered the two children like ram. The woman went really crazy. And the church had to do something over a period of time to rehabilitate her. That had been going on.
Àwọn kan ti politicize ẹ̀ ń ṣe protest. Táwọn tó bá nílé tí wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọn ò ní lọ síbi iṣẹ́ wọn. Ó ti di third day tẹ̀ ṣe protest. Ó yẹ ká mọ̀ pé àwọn kan ló ń fún wọn lówó, àwọn kan ló ń sponsor wọn. And let me say, I will not talk to you, this secretariat or anywhere else, but I am coming to that circular road corridor to engage with the real people tó wà ń bẹ̀. Ó ti gbọ́ orúkọ tẹ́ pé mi o, ẹ̀mí land grabber, thief, and even worse things. But leadership sometimes means taking the blows today, sake of the future that we believe in.
All right, welcome back to the program Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your state's #1 family radio station. We want to specially thank you again and thank you for joining the conversation and the program this morning. With me in the studio this morning is Mr. Olale Konsoni to help us make sense of some of the stories that we will be reviewing with the time that we have left on the show. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, sir. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you.
That's great to know.
We thank God. Let's start with the biggest story, if you ask me, in Africa this week. And that's the Wike and the young soldier, the young military man the confrontation that we saw all over social media. And I mean, I enjoy being on social media, and I started seeing the video on some of the international platforms, not on local blogs anymore. And whenever I find stories like that, at the center of it all, bloggers that you're sure that not just Nigerians follow them, but other, nations of the world. You have other people enjoy, content on that platform. As a matter of fact, some of these blogs hardly post, black-related content. But for some reason, this one made it to the blog. It's another point to where what Nigeria may mean to a lot of people. As if you find some of the comments right underneath the video, they're very ridiculous. But I would want you to, speak to this very quickly as we capture some of the highlights of the week to wrap up Perspectives Unlimited for this week. Yes, Wike, the Minister of the FCT, doing his own work, right? And of course, the military on that site. What is the military doing on that site? Why that outburst from the FCT minister? If you ask me, do we have any hero here? Well, I don't know if there is any hero here. I'm not sure I can see any. But let me get your own thought in very quickly before we talk about other stories that we have in the news. The Circular Road issue in your state is also a big one this week, and I would like us to talk about that quickly. But let's talk about Wike and, of course, the military man.
Thank you very much, Chief. In all seriousness, it's an open secret that I'm no fan of Wike, but I mean, he is the Minister of FCT. I may not like his character, but he is the Minister of FCT. That is what the law says. And agencies under his supervision are saddled with responsibilities of, number one, approving land sales, approving building plans and how the likes within the FCT. According to Wike and some other people that we listened to, there is this particular space around Gadua in Abuja that has an activity going on top of it. And there are claims that there is no approval plan for that building. People from the Federal Capital Development Agency, FCDA, they came there. People from the Federal Capital Territory Authority, FCTA, they came there to say, oh, where is your plan? And according to what Wike said, and which the military guys are not denying, the people who came were manhandled, roughened up, and all of that. And at that particular point in time, Wike had to step in. You can't be building something here without approval, because, God forbid, should anything happen tomorrow, maybe a collapse or something, what everybody's going to say, oh, where was the government when they were building this thing? So show us your letter of approval before you can build anything here. And it was a case of you cannot cross this line. I mean, seriously? I'm still struggling to understand what took a military officer to that particular place, because it is not a military facility. It is not a site owned by the federal government. Yes, if you are a general, maybe serving or retired, you have people attached to you to ensure your physical security. Physical security, not to start using them as a money layer and ad bureau. You cannot use somebody who is paid for by the state to now engage in activities that are of no concern to the state. It is the government that is paying these people. You cannot be using them for your own personal benefit. They are only there to ensure your physical safety, not even that of your spouse, not that of your children, just your own physical safety. So there was no justification whatsoever, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I'm going by the laws, for that guy to be there. But the mistake Wike made was the type of words he was using. You are a fool, shut up, all of that. He didn't need that. He didn't need that at all, not at all. And that is why he has lost. Well, the truth of the matter is that a lot of people are not even assessing what actually happened. They are just profiling Wike, and based on what they know about Wike in the past, everybody has already passed a verdict on what happened on that particular day. I am not fan of Wike, not by any means, but Yorubas would say "Taban sun kama riran." If we are crying, that shouldn't mean we should lose our sight. As far as I'm concerned, I am somebody who strongly believes in the rule of law. What the military guys did on that particular day was wrong, and it's still wrong because they are still defending it. And that is not how to build a system on the foundation of rule of law.
In Larry Olayinka's words, these are Navy officers who should not be on land, and wondering what exactly they are doing right in an uncompleted build.
They were doing Amonile work as far as I'm concerned. And that is not supposed to be. They are practically enforcers. Oh, we want to use this place and nobody must come near us simply because you're what's my business with you being a military man? You can be a Boy Scout. That's a personal problem. It's not a business. My home point is do what is right at the right time. Are you supposed to be there? As far as I'm concerned, no. If you're not supposed to be there, get the hell out of the place. Instead, there was funny enough, that particular day, this is actually what riled me up. That particular day, there was a very big confrontation between ISWAP and Boko Haram in Borno State, such that they eliminated 200 of them across both camps. You would expect the Nigerian military to take advantage of that conflict between the two of them so that you can help them settle, quote and unquote, settle the conflict from the sky. They were even actually fighting on, I don't know, did you see that clip?
Yes.
It was on the body of water. So it's something that the Navy should have, they should have been there. Instead of fighting on water, which is actually your constitutional mandate, you were fighting on land over, this is my land, this is not your land. No, Nigerians, let's get it straight. I'm not a fan of Wike. I'm not a fan of the current president, but we should say things the way they are. Wike, on that particular day, he didn't make much mistake, save the words that were coming out of his mouth. The military guys were not supposed to be there. They should have been 800 kilometers away in Maiduguri, settling, quote and unquote, the conflict between those two guys. If that had happened, Nigeria would be a safer place by now. The whole of Northeast would be a safer place for all of Nigeria, because they are going to learn from the downfall of their comrades in the Northeast. But instead of doing that, and let me tell you something. Someone told me that they want to build an event center in that particular facility, on that particular land. And it's what I've been saying here for years, at least close to 2 years now, that Nigeria is pumping money, a lot of money into quote and unquote insecurity in this country. Instead of us to see security in the land, what we are saying are private universities owned by a certain group of people, event centers owned by a certain group of people, massive hotels owned by a certain group of people. And these same people who are still doing the same thing, and we are all hailing it. No, I'm not going to do that. No. I'm not a fan of Wike. I've been saying and I continue to say until it changes, which I don't think can ever happen. But as far as this matter is concerned, I have more blame for the military guys than
to Wike.
Yes.
The Minister, FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, on Thursday spoke to the media about controversies that have thrilled his confrontation with the naval officer, Lieutenant Hamed Yerima, who denied him access to the disputed land, allegedly belonging to a retired Chief of Naval Staff, Awal Gambo, on Tuesday. Wike, who spoke while addressing journalists in Abuja, reiterated his respect for the Nigerian military, but stressed that the armed forces must operate within the law. According to him, no country will allow impunity and lawlessness, even among government officials, not to talk about private individuals. He insisted that he would not condone lawlessness by military officers serving or retired. I want to look at his words. I have respect for the military, and yet he called the military man, a fool. A very strong name, and also said he would not condone impunity and lawlessness, which a lot of Nigerians on social media have also said Wike is also guilty of.
See, the truth of the matter is that Wike shouldn't be one to pontificate as regards rule of law and lawlessness and all of that. Let me tell you something he did while he was governor of Rivers State. That is why most Nigerians don't have sympathy. I don't have sympathy for him. I'm only after rule of law. I'm not interested in what happens to Wike. Even if they had roughened him up on that day, I won't complain. When he was governor of Rivers State, the EFCC came to effect the arrest of a judge, a federal high court judge in Rivers State. Guess what Wike did? He was still fit then. He was very chubby. In the middle of the night, if I'm not mistaken, around 1:30 a.m., Wiki was actually exchanging fisticuffs with officials of the EFCC because he didn't want them to arrest that judge. The rumors were rife then that that was the judge giving Wiki all sorts of judgments that he needed at the Port Harcourt Division of the Federal High Court. And when the EFCC came to arrest him, Wiki came as a sitting governor, a serving governor, and I was throwing blues at EFCC officials. Eventually, they couldn't arrest that guy. So someone like that shouldn't be telling us rule of law, orderliness, and all of that. No. Looking at your antecedent, you don't know anything about orderliness. But if nation building is our concern, we need to remove characters that are involved in this matter. And let's discuss what actually affects our country. My country is Nigeria, and what I want in my home country is orderliness. I repeat, irrespective of what Wiki might have done in the past, the military guys didn't have the right to do what they did on that part. You cannot continue to build on negativity. Yes, Wiki is somebody who's, as far as I'm concerned, whose cup is already full. But that still doesn't mean that we should trample on our laws simply because we want to humble Wiki. That is it.
Do you think that action from the military as against Wiki may be intentional?
It was intentional.
Could it have been different if the FCT minister were to be someone else?
I believe so.
Okay.
And if you look at what the former service chiefs and current service chiefs are doing, you would realize that there's something about Wiki that they do not like. Everybody is saying things that would blow what is on the ground out of proportion. The former chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, said that what Wiki did on that day, as far as I'm concerned, was tantamount to a threat to national security. That's foolishness in my opinion. What are we talking about? If anything was threatening national security, it was what was happening in his own backyard. It's from Yobe State. Serious killings were going on in Borno State on that particular day. That was what threatened national security, not what was happening between two overzealous guys. Look at Leo Hirabo as well. The list is long. It is long, and it's not supposed to be like that. But if it were to be someone else, okay, that morning, I can tell you categorically that before Wiki went to that place, he called the chief of defense staff. He called the chief of naval staff, and the two of them told him, Chief, calm down. We are going to settle this thing. Don't go there. But he wanted to do gra-gra. He went there carrying out journalists in the country to the place only for him to be humbled. Someone else wouldn't have gone there after that assurance. Rather, it would be like, Chief, it's a week. I've not heard from you. What is happening?
So which means maybe the insistence or the advice of not going and then your insisting to go there may then what you got is probably what
now you find and you see.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back right after the break, we open the phone lines and of course we talk about the PDP convention among other stories in the news for today. It is still Wells Radio 89.3 FM, Perspectives Unlimited. Stay with us.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour. I am so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data. Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service. One Data? Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website websites www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas!
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh.
Christmas is almost here, and Wells Radio 89.3 FM is bringing the joy closer to you. It's the Father Christmas Fiesta 2025.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Happening live on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of December 2025. It's 3 days of joy, fun, and family moment that every child will remember. We are calling on churches, NGOs, schools, brands, and kind-hearted individuals to partner, sponsor, and spread the joy of Christmas to families across Ibadan and your state. Let's make Christmas brighter together. For sponsorship and partnership, call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Sam on 0813 746 5878. Ayo on 0706 840 7359. Wells Radio 89.3 FM, celebrating Christmas the family way.
Now the ground is white, so grow it while you're young.
Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
And also for anyone coming from Lagos or the northern part of the country, is the first impression of our city. And with the completion and commissioning of these projects, we are signaling order, modernity, and progress. So with this commissioning, we have now completed all 4 modern bus terminals in Ibadan: Challenge, Ojo, New Ife Road, and Iwo Road. Don't be bothered when people politicize things, because we are focused, laser focused on our path with the people of Oyo State. Now I know that many of you have had ongoing conversations about the 110-kilometer Rashidi Ladoja circular road, and sometimes misconceptions about what it represents. Let me use this opportunity to again explain why this circular road matters. It is not just a road project, it is an economic backbone. We're not only constructing a highway, we're building a corridor of opportunity. We're creating a space where industries, estates, and logistic hubs will emerge to support the growth of our city over the next 20 years. Some have asked, why keep land aside for an investment corridor? The answer is very simple. Cities that fail to plan for tomorrow are soon swallowed in the chaos of today. Àwọn kan ti politicize ẹ̀ ń ṣe protest. Táwọn tó bá nílé tí wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́, wọn ò ní lọ síbi iṣẹ́ wọn. Ó ti di third day tẹ̀ ṣe protest. Ó yẹ ká mọ̀ pé àwọn kan ló ń fún wọn lówó, àwọn kan ló ń sponsor wọn. And let me say, I will not talk to you, this secretariat or anywhere else, but I am coming to that circular road corridor to engage with the real people who are there.
Welcome back to the program. This is Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. From our studio right now, it is 7 minutes past 7 o'clock. Good morning to you once again, and thank you for joining us. Studio lines 0916 893 1000, 0915 334 893, and 0911 333 893. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you, Mr. George from Ologweru.
Yes, George from Ologweru.
Good morning to you, sir.
I so much love your station.
Thank you, Mr. George.
And the people that are working there, especially the man on seat now, General Laleko Foni.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
You see, when I was still working, my boss was the founding director of Nihot here.
Okay, sir. All right.
When you see him, you will respect him. I have said severally that I am with the military. One officer came to visit me in the office, and my boss came out from his office to give me something to do for him. Immediately he came out, the officer stood at attention and he gave him compliments. And my boss welcomed him and said, thank you. Thank you. You see, approach matters in everything. And we have seen in this administration that they do not respect any rule of law, even up to the extent of disrespecting judgment from the highest court of the country. They are laying bad precedent that people are copying. Everything you said this morning is correct. But let me tell you, where there is disrespect to rules of law, so many things happen. And Wike is an example of what is happening in Nigeria. Look at his voice. Look at the words he used on that young man. Even if you deserve a respect from that young man, the approach was completely wrong. So let us start adjusting these things so that we don't push ourselves to this type of war that we are trying to create for ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. George, for your perspective this morning. You too can share yours. 0916 893 1000, 0915 334 893, and 0911 333 3893. Let's talk about the secular road very quickly before we talk about the PDP convention in Ibadan.
Of all what the governor said, the one that hit me the most was the part where he said that, the real owners would have gone to their places of work and things like that. Are you kidding me, Mr. Governor? People spent their entire lives. Some of them are still indebted till today to have that structure there. You woke up suddenly, as far as I'm concerned, on the wrong side of the bed to say you want to mow it down for unjustifiable reasons, and you want them to go to work. The work that they went to for 35 years to build that place, the place is now sitting on the ground. You now want to destroy it and tell them to go back to that same work. To do what exactly?
Let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Adeunke from Muslim.
Adeunke from Muslim. Good morning, Adeunke.
Yeah, concerning Circular Road.
All right.
The governor, the video I watched, said you are against the people that the Circular Road is affecting. They affect them personally, that it is political, that it was, the protest was organized politically. So I just told him that you should do the needful, that the 500 meters is too much. So you should try and reduce to 150 meters. That we are begging, we are kidding to him, because I know that he's a man with human face, he has human feelings. So you should please reduce the meter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adeunke. Thank you for your call.
What exactly are they going to do at their respective places of work? To go there and begin to sub? The truth of the matter is that Mr. Governor is wrong on all facets.
Do you think the protest is actually political? Could he be political? Could he be political?
The cause is not political, but trust politicians. If they feel like there is an opening for them to find a way to enter into what you are doing, they won't miss that. and I can say that Mr. Sheyi Makinde would even miss that. He went to the circular route during the administration of the immediate past governor, his immediate predecessor, to protest. So if he's talking about the politicization of the circular route, then it started with him. When he was contesting there, he went there to give them all sorts of assurances, and today he's even doing worse than the guy he protested against. So if we're talking about politicization here, then Sheyi Makinde is the master of politics here. What I'm trying to say here is that there is no justification whatsoever, whether moral or legal, for you to go as far as 500 meters on a state road. What the law says, I said it yesterday, I'm still going to say it today. For a federal road, the setback is 150 meters. Almighty federal road, the type of Lagos Ibadan, 150 meters. For state road, 90 meters. Quote me anywhere. For local government roads, depending, those ones go through our streets and all of that. So depending on the existing layout, between 30 and 60 meters.
The one in Elebu is not 30 meters.
Is that one even up to 2 meters?
That's on the lighter note, but go ahead.
So what I'm trying to say here is that after careful thoughts and all of that, they said, okay, maximum 90 meters. There is no way a trailer will lose control and not stop within 90 meters. I mean, you would expect it to stop within 90 meters. Do you not know the most embarrassing and annoying thing? You are chasing people away from that particular portion of land. And guess what? That same land that you are chasing people away from, I mean, you would expect that the government would be on the side of safety and all of that. It's still the same land that some people are already erecting billboards in Ibadan, advertising. And rumors are rife in town that, I mean, a lot of people have actually bought that place. That's a crime in my opinion.
The rumor is not pointing to how they actually purchased them, or they are also just trying to milk whatever situation and to exploit people.
If the governor
lands around here can be
if the governor didn't chase them out of that place, would anybody buy it? Some people have been in that place even before Nigeria came into being. These are people's ancestral homes, and they have been passing ownership through inheritance and all of that. All of a sudden, you said, yes, the governor can say the state wants to use your land, but there are laid down procedures to avoid things like this. Things that can make the government say, vacate your land, number one, for public benefit. I want to use it to construct a road. If your house is sitting on where the road is designed to pass, I mean, you have lost the battle already. If it is within 90 meters of the land, you have lost the battle already. I mean, I am not complaining as regards to those people. What I am saying is that the governor should duly compensate those people. But anybody outside of 90 meters from the road is not supposed to be dealing with what these people are dealing with. And we're not talking about we're talking about 410 meters that, in my opinion, are illegal. Both left and right. And do you now know the another thing that is even annoying? I have seen the road, I mean, if you're coming from Lagos around Guru Maharaji, that road is extremely narrow. I have seen some local government roads that are even wider than that.
That's the entry point.
Yes,
the one that linked the express.
I should tell you,
a very narrow one.
I should tell you that the governor himself has actually said it, that the road is narrow, and now we're talking about expanding. When you started construction, I think he parades himself as an engineer. Didn't he see that, this thing is too narrow?
Let's look at it this way. If you had to advise the governor on what to do on this matter, what would you say to the governor? There's a lot of emotional rush.
If he asked for my opinion when he wanted to start, I'll tell him not to start, because some other things are of higher priority than that road, in my opinion. But now that it has happened, you can't abandon it anymore. If you abandon it, it's like you just torpedo some people's lives for no meaning. So you'll have to complete the project. But in completing the project, fix yourself to the law. The road, fine. Outside the road, another 90 meters, fine. Anything beyond that 90 meters, no idea. And for the people who are going to lose their homes to the road itself and the setback, you must give them what is commensurate in today's Naira and Kobo to what you are taking away from them. And not just the building. You must compensate also for the land, because wherever they want to go, they will have to buy fresh land. They will have to build on it. If you can't do that, fine. Okay, let's look at it from this angle. Even if you want to use it for genuine reasons, which I have not seen here for 10 meters, you still have to compensate them. Now, have you thought of the amount of money you're going to use to compensate people on 410 meters on side A? People on the other side making 820 meters. The money that you are going to spend in compensating those people is going to outweigh the budget of your state. So what are we talking about? What exactly are we talking about? I see greed here, nothing more than that.
Your perspective.
My
0916-893-1000, 0915-334-893. Let's have your own perspective also on the Secular Road issue currently, your state at the moment and what you think. Are you affected by that? Would you like to share also on radio in a very civil manner? Use the phone lines and let's have a conversation. About the convention, PDP delegate arrive amid Saraki's cancellation move. Ibadan, the capital of your state, is abuzz with last-minute preparation for the national convention of the PDP amid a potential showdown between the factional camps in the opposition party. Due to take place on Saturday and Sunday, the convention is perhaps the most controversial in the PDP history as a faction of the party pulled out. In the build-up to the event, the National Working Committee, led by the National Chairman, Umar Damagum, suspended the National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, the National Organizing Secretary, Umar Bator, and the National Legal Advisor, Kamaruddin Ajibade, for a month for alleged anti-party activities. Remember that sequel to Justice James Omotosho's Federal High Court ruling in Abuja, which placed the convention on hold, citing the party's failure to abide by its rules, Omotosho anchored his ruling on the failure by the leadership of the party to have its designated official sign the notice of the convention before transmitting the same to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. As a result, the judge barred INEC from monitoring the event. Do you think INEC would be at that event? We've seen different organizations in Nigeria go against court rulings. Is that going to be the case of INEC in this particular PDP convention?
INEC won't dare do that. They won't try it. They won't try. And there are two cases now barring INEC from going to that convention. One is as a result of the judgment coming from the weakest camp of the party. The other is as a result of the judgment coming from the case instituted by Sule Lamido. Are you aware of the fact that he wanted to contest, he wanted to buy a form, but they didn't sell a form and he went to court? So INEC will not be coming there. Let me congratulate the people who are going to come to Ibadan for the convention, especially those who have not been to Ibadan in the past. It's never a bad idea to do tourism around, go and see cities in your country.
You think this is some form of a tour for those who will be here?
Now flex,
what's the implication of INEC not being at a party's convention?
Then it is null and void. It is null and void. It is totally of no effect. Even if it's a primary, INEC must be there to see that, okay, what you are doing is in line with the Electoral Act. And should they not be there, forget about it.
Let's look at the court ruling, the issues on the PDP prior to this time. What is the goal? If INEC would not be there, why do you think the faction pushing for this convention, why do you think they are pulling for it?
Ego pollution.
The cost, how much it will cost to pull up a convention for 2 days?
See, let me tell you something, Chief.
Yet at the end of the day, INEC, the body that regulates this, would not still be present.
This is happening simply because there is no transparency and accountability in the country. How many party members pay their their membership dues? Eventually, it's unfortunate, but through one way or the other, it's you and I who are paying for that convention.
How?
You and I know. Who is the party member that is paying membership dues today in Nigeria? Wiki will tell you, I financed the party with your father's money. I was the one carrying the party on my back with your father's money. You and I know where the money is coming from. And that is why they can afford to say, I want to burn any amount of money on the convention, even if it's not going to work. They only want to make a statement that, we are not going to be cowed by what you did with the court and all of that. That is what they are doing. At what cost? Number one, the financial cost is huge. Number two, it's a waste of time. What they should have done when that thing happened was to appeal that judgment immediately. But instead of appealing, you came to a court of equal jurisdiction to upturn, and I said it here last week and I'm still saying it, God help Justice Akintola. Because the NJC has frowned at the idea of a court of equal jurisdiction, upturning what a court had earlier said. And that's exactly what happened with Justice Akintola. A judge in Abuja said that, that thing is not going to proceed. At that particular point, they should have taken that matter to the to the Court of Appeal. They didn't do that. Rather, they brought it here to Ibadan. And the judge said, you can go ahead. The NJC is not going to take that lightly. I can tell the man to prepare his defense when the NJC calls. And guess what? The Wike camp, they didn't miss the opportunity. Immediately made that judgment in Ibadan. The Wike camp petitioned to get this NJC immediately. And that means the man must go to Abuja to go and explain himself. I was thinking if I was going to soft pedal, Thursday he still repeated the same judgment. God help him. But as far as I'm concerned, for the people who are coming to Ibadan, I congratulate hotel owners in Ibadan because they're going to be making a fortune out of nothing. That is it.
All right, let's move on to education. The House of Rep has ordered the Federal Ministry of Education and the West African Examination Council WAEC to suspend the planned introduction of computer-based testing for the examination. For the 2026 West Africa examination, which is the WAEC, the directive followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by Kelechi Wogo on Thursday. In his motion titled Need for Intervention to Avert Massive Failure in the Proposed 2026 WAEC Computer-Based Examination. Let's get your view on this. CBT examination for WAEC. And of course, the House of Rep has ordered the Federal Ministry of Education to suspend the planned introduction.
It's recipe for unmitigated disaster.
But when exactly are we going to be ready?
When we are ready.
When will that be?
When we are ready. When we are ready. Before us to be ready, we have to see some things on the ground. Number one is that stable electricity in all our schools. Computer, at least one computer for every student. And then at that particular point, they would have, been accustomed to, we stay in the same city now. You know what happens in our public schools. Even the so-called private schools, how many of them have a computer? For those who have a computer, it's just for the maybe headmaster, headmistress, or whatever the title is, not for the students. A lot of them have never touched their mouse. If you say a mouse, you say white rat or black rat. That is the point. So the truth of the matter is that in this country, we like to do things simply because other people are doing it. The type of investment other people made to get to that level, forget about that. But we'll show now, say Nigeria safety. But that's not how to run it. How do you ask somebody to come and write an exam on a platform that they know nothing about? It's never going. Even if you know all the Ababio, or the Okeke, or the Yashade in English, if you do not know how to express your mind, you are still going to fail woefully.
Let's look at how the UTME started with complete CBT. I think a year or two after UTME started, where UTME is at the moment. What if WAEC is also given a chance to test on? Let's take this call. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, please go ahead.
What is the failure percentage for WAEC? And what is the failure percentage for UTME? That of UTME far outweighs that of WAEC.
Let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Tony.
Good morning, sir.
Calling from Akata. Now, quick one. On the last extract today, you combined the UTME and use of the computer, whatever. The thing is this. The government ought to consider some factors before embarking on this strike. Number one, there are some students that are living and schooling in some remote villages who does not have light, who does not have access to internet facilities, who have never come in contact with the computer before. Neither talk of them using the computer before. So whenever they want to for their SSC or for their whatever and for their exam examination, top students will be asked to come and use the computer. So what did I expect? There's going to be a mass failure. Let me give you an example. This morning I'm having a seminar. This morning you will see, and there's a software that has just been developed. Now they are going to have a training, and it's because they're coming to Abuja this morning. And that we just of us that we knew how to operate the computer, and now there is software that we have to go and learn. So how about those that are not even that does not even have access to internet move. And lastly, on the issue of the PDP, when PDP is what it is, the commission will come and hold, and my doubt is, will the other portion of the PDP, we did not contest the outcome of the convention that will be held today or tomorrow. We did not go and attend that and contest that, just that at the end of the day, it will be declared not and it might be declared not and vote by the court. So the thing is this, let the PDP put their house in order so that we can have a good and political opposition party.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benga.
Why would anybody contest what I think is not even recognizing?
All right, let's take some comment on Facebook. Sulaiman Sharif says, PDP, about the PDP convention is a time for rebirth and rebuilding the party. Truly, some want PDP to die, but faithful and committed PDP must hold to their convention because all of the organs of the party, before these individuals' opinions, had agreed that they should go to the convention. The Governors Forum, the NWC, and the Board of Trustees in their last meeting made mention of going to the convention and must hold in Ibadan. I believe that the Navy officer was performing duty that is not their business. However, any individual like Wike in such a prestigious role ought to refrain from displaying uncontrolled anger and employing offensive language in public forums. FCT Minister Yeson Wike said someone is lawless. Is he sincere with that statement? Lawlessness, really? He talking about lawlessness? I laugh. Sulaiman Sharif on our Facebook page. That's all we can take. There's a story in the news. Maybe Mr. Sonny can just say a word or two about it. Tinubu shift 15% of fuel import duty to the first quarter.
Yesterday cancelled. Today postponed. I mean, it tells you that danger is still in the air for Nigerians. I do not support it. The president should cancel it outrightly. Not just that, out of 5% or so. In all seriousness, come 2026, we're talking about 20% increase now.
It is well. Thank you so much for your time. That's all we can take. Up next is AM Sport. Let me talk to Lizard very quickly. Congratulations to Nigeria. I think it's 4-1. Nigeria 4, Gabon 1.
Yes, 4-1, yes.
I saw your WhatsApp status and I see that you're excited for the show this morning.
I mean, I'm quite excited because, apart from Nigeria, also across other countries, they also did so well. They were also surprising movement, and that's what we're going to talk about today on AM Sports.
Do you think Nigeria will qualify for the World Cup eventually?
I think they are quite in a good form right now.
A good form that it took us an extra time to score?
No, I feel like Nigeria as a country, or let me just Super Eagles work better under pressure, even because prior to playoff and prior to Benin Republic match, the scoreline was just 2-1, 1-1, 2-0. But now that they are under pressure, they're giving us 4-0, 4-1. It keeps getting better. So the one with DR Congo is literally going to be very easy.
So we should put them under pressure.
Yes,
more
basically.
Pressure. Thank you, Lizette. Lizette will be serving you fresh stories from the world of sport in a moment. Stay with us. It is 89.3 FM. Have a beautiful and amazing weekend. God bless you.
Please listen to this